for many years before I lived with the Lord, I felt like I was just battling in life. Like, I always felt like my back was against the wall and just fighting life, circumstances, situations. Felt like I could never get a break. I felt like these battles were so strong before I was walking with the Lord. And I know many of us feel like this, and we've been feeling like this for many years. We just battle. We feel like we're battling. That's all we do is fight. We wake up, we fight. But now that I walk with the Lord, through all them years, I was not fighting. I was not battling. And this is why. For all those years, I was enslaved. I was in chains by Satan. I was tied up in guilt. I was tied up in bitterness. I was tied up in anger. I was tied up in rage. I was a slave to money. I was a slave to alcohol. I was a slave to sex. I was imprisoned. So when one is in chains, when one is imprisoned, you don't battle because you're only tied up to a place in a room. So what it is instead of battling, I wasn't battling. I was only miserable in self-pity, drowning in guilt, so I wasn't battling, although I thought I was battling. I was miserable. And I was miserable because of the consequences of my decisions. All the consequences of my decisions that I've decided, and all my choices that I chose to do in each day, came with consequences, and came with chains, and came with imprisonment. Not imprisonment in the natural world, but imprisonment within, in the spiritual world. I was in bondage. So as many of you guys think you're battling, you're not battling at one bit. You're only in bondage and in prison, suffering the consequences from your choices and from your decisions. You have these chains that you're tied up to. And you're miserable. You're miserable. You walk around with your head down. You're tired. Because when you're chained up, you only have a certain amount of distance you can walk. You can only walk in circles. So it's no battle. You're not battling life. You're simply just reaping the consequences of your decisions from a sinful life. That was me. But the true battle don't come until you know, until you're free, and until you know and can discern what is good from bad, what is right from wrong. This is the battle. Because when you come to the Lord, you clothe yourself with Christ. You clothe yourself with righteousness. And now you're shining bright. And now you caught Satan's attention. Because when you're in chains, he's not worried about you. You're imprisoned. But now when you are free, walking in Christ, you caught his attention. Now the battle comes. Now the fight comes. Now you're free to fight. And I tell you, before in my imprisoned days of being miserable doesn't compare to the battles I face daily now, which is an honor because I am a warrior of Christ. I put on my armor daily. I grab my weapons daily, and I fight in this spiritual battle, in this spiritual war that is here on earth, that many of us can't see because we have fixed our eyes on the seen and not on what is unseen. So the more you submit to the Lord, the more you give, the more you pour out. When you truly devote your life to the Lord and walking on His path and His will, the enemy knows this and sees this. And the enemy will try to attack you from many different angles, from in many different ways. The enemy schemes, Satan schemes. He tries to be very sly. He tries to be very sly. So as you're a disciple of Jesus Christ, you're also a warrior. You're on this battlefield, this war, fighting the good fight, fighting good against evil, trying to win souls and pull souls out of the fiery pits of hell. Try to pull souls out of the prison that they're in chains in. But you do this not on your own. You do this by surrendering and crucifying thyself, so the power of God will move through you. The power of God will move through you. And He is the one who does this. You are simply the vessel and are willing. And you are the vessel and you are only willing just because He has placed the desire in your heart to surrender. Everything is given from the Lord. And when you may think life is hard when you're not living for the Lord, you haven't seen nothing until you start living for the Lord. Amen. But even in the midst of the battlefield, there is peace. There is joy. Because as we battle and as we fight, swinging our sword and protecting ourselves with the shield, we praise His name on high, rejoicing and glorifying Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Because it is an honor to place ourselves on the battlefield and give ourselves for Jesus Christ, just as He gave Himself for us. The more you surrender, the more you submit, be on watch and be ready and be prepared. Because a man seeking and chasing after God's very own heart is one of the biggest threats to Satan. And Satan is going to try to take you out. But he doesn't stand a chance. For this war has been already won through Jesus Christ. Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Amen. So as you're living your life thinking you're battling life, you're just suffering in misery. The true battle doesn't come, and true freedom doesn't come until we give ourselves to the Lord.